What do you wish parents knew about ultra-processed food in terms of how it affects their children's health?
I just wish that parents understood that you are literally built of what you eat. And if you're not eating the nutrients that you need to thrive and you're not giving your kids real fresh food, then there's no possible way that they're going to be healthy and thrive. Most kids are eating the vast majority of their calories from ultra processed foods. And even in the best case scenario, a lot of our fruits and veggies are shipped from some other place at this point. They're sprayed in all sorts of chemicals. They're still not ideal because you lose a lot of the nutrient density from mass production, but it's better than mass-produced ultra-processed food. So I think we have to start making steps and strides towards getting back to more fresh local produce that's available for everybody. But we just need to understand that starts with the ultra-processed food, and we've been marketed to for so many years about faster, cheaper, easier, and we have to shift that back to taking time, family, cooking, local produce. Like these are things that we have to value and then work together to have societal change towards valuing those things, bringing the price down for fresh food, having that kind of food available for our kids at schools. It's not impossible. You look at school lunches in other countries, and they have much better food than what we have here. So it can be done. It's not simple, but it's important. And to go back to your point about like the bigger picture, it's not about food dyes. It's about the food in general. But we have to acknowledge that our food is pretty crappy and a big part of our chronic disease epidemic, and why we have a third of kids with diabetes or prediabetes, and why more than half adults are overweight or obese. Like these are things that matter. And if we start to have this conversation and move things the other direction, it'll make a big difference for our kids. We won't see those same levels in 10 or 20 years. It's not about dyes. It's about food.
Is infant formula as problematic as people are making it out to be in the United States?
Yes and no. I think it's important that we understand that of the food that we have, formula is one of the most regulated. So there actually are a lot of regulations. And even with that new consumer report, nothing was above the level of actual safety concern. Like nothing was above the level.
When you're talking about the heavy metals.
The heavy metals, yeah. So they were still below the levels that were set, but they were there. Obviously, we want to have as minimal as possible. It's really hard to make products these days, it seems, that don't have any sort of trace metals in them because they're in the environment. They're normally in the environment, but then they're also abnormally in the environment from water contamination, agriculture, the manufacturing. So I think we have a bigger problem in terms of the metals and the contaminants in our food that needs to be discussed because it's pretty pervasive. But at least from those studies, I mean, it's good because we want them to be as safe and nutritious as possible. And we have high fructose corn syrup as one of our first ingredients, where other countries don't, and that's probably not a great thing. We had some metals in there. That's probably not a great thing. We don't want arsenic in there, but it's not that the levels were so high that we need to be super scared. It's just that they're there. And when we're talking about our infant formula, which is something that kids who are on formula are going to have that maybe exclusively for 6 months, we want to set up our kids for success. And so we want better formula in a decade than we have now. And if we, again, allow companies to just kind of run the show, and you just have a couple of companies that are so big that have most of the formula, which is the way that it is now, they have no reason to make their products better. We have to do that. And that's why I'm really happy about that. Not to say that the formula is specifically so problematic right now, but it's such a vital thing. It's the only thing a baby's eating. So to put extra standards on them, to put more checks and balances, to watch over them, to try to make them better, how is that possibly bad? How is it possibly bad to want them to be better always? They're better than they used to be. Let's make them better moving forward. There should be no argument there. Let's make it better for our kids. Whatever that means. It's not the best formula we're ever going to have as humanity.
I think it's important for people to understand that as you're talking about these big corporations who are involved in this, Nestle has never done something out of the goodness of their heart. They are actually probably the one who can take the credit for why we don't have maternity leave in the United States, because they've lobbied against it for so long to ensure that moms are completely stressed out, they lose their milk supply, and that they're then having to use formula. We need formula. It is very, very important. There are women, for whatever reason, are not able to breastfeed. It needs to be available. But to your point, I do believe Nestle is definitely one of the top companies that needs to be kept in check, and that we do need to be making sure that there are really strict guidelines on what they're doing and what is going into our infant formula. I saw a lot of pushback online where people were saying, oh, they're focusing on infant formula now, but they're like, deforestation's about to happen. Fracking is coming. And like, that's a bigger problem. All of these are a problem. They are a big problem.
There's lots of problems in the world.
And when it comes to the current administration, there is no denying there are absolute contradictions happening every single day that are literally driving my mind bonkers. Because on one hand, there's this focus of clean up infant formula. We've got to talk about, SNAP program and cleaning up our food supply. And on the other hand, the head of the USDA is the biggest lobbyist for processed food that ever existed. We're losing EPA protections in our environment. And so I think a lot of people find those contradictions are hard to reconcile with. And it's very easy to say, well, all the bad things they're doing here, this can't be any better.
It's so complicated. There are so many things. But I think what we can unite around is the love of our kids and the future health of our kids. And to me, anything that seemingly pushes that health forward, anything that's aiming towards healthier, better products is a good thing. There will be contradictions. There are many other things that you might prioritize or this other person might prioritize or maybe is actually more important than the thing that is getting done first. RFK is going to have his marching orders. He's going to do what he wants to do. Whoever else is around him is going to do what they want to do. But at least my hope would be that with the individuals that are in there now, they're not as tied to a lot of these companies as they used to be, and we can start to unravel that a little bit, and we can start to put some checks and balances back in. And if somebody's worried about deforestation, those are legitimate concerns too. So you shouldn't fight against the momentum that there is for health. I think that's a good thing, and there are some people that are online that just trash, people on Maha or people on whatever, and they say, well, they're doing this, and this is the one sentence they said, and that's ridiculous. They should be talking about this. Sure, there are lots of things to be talking about. Everyone needs to unite. That's the best way to do it. I mean, if you disagree with something that's going on or you feel like something else is more important, then hopefully those people can get involved and push for change in that arena too. It's so not black and white on everything, all of these topics, and we want it to be black and white, and it's not. Mm-hmm. And at least we're seeing change. I mean, change is good where we're going in the wrong direction, and I think that you have to give a little bit of time. It's not like every single thing is just going to be fixed overnight, or these bigger issues like food deserts or whole foods or the cost of foods are going to be changed in a month. Like, that's not realistic. It's going to take decades. Problems that have been created in decades are going to take decades to change, and I think we have to go after some of the things we can actually change in the short term to gain a momentum. Just like you hear all the the lifestyle bros, the people that are working with individuals who go to the gym or have unhealthy lifestyles. It's like getting those early wins. It builds momentum. For those people that are obese, getting those early wins, working towards something, seeing that weight coming down. Those first kind of steps make a big difference to giving you that momentum to put you in that other direction, to eat healthier and to live healthier. And I think and I hope that's what we're seeing right now, which are some early wins or some early discussions about some of these things that we can actually make some changes over. So it's a part of the news. It has to be something that people want to vote for, has to be something that people care about. When we see what happens, I mean, we see what was able to be done from a group of people that were health conscious, for better or worse. I mean, it really can affect politics if there is a movement behind it, and actually makes a difference. Most of the politicians don't know anything about this. Mm-hmm. They don't know about health. They're not doctors. They're not nutritionists. Why do they know? Why do they care? If a bunch of people that are constituents care about a topic, they're going to learn about it. It's amazing now to realize how many even experts just don't know the research on their own topics. I could for sure say that I didn't know most of the stuff on vaccines. And that's the thing I talk about all the time. Mm-hmm. It's just the reality. There's no reason to look at the baseline research and data and spend all that time unless you're kind of pushed to do it. And you just do what you think is correct based on what you're told. and you don't realize what you're told is based on what someone else was told, what someone else was told, and that message just keeps going until somebody opens up the information and says, well, here's what the actual data shows. Oh, right. Oh, that's what it shows. That's not great. Let's look at that.
Well, thank you for taking the time to share all of this with us, to be brave enough to navigate this conversation in an unbiased way, and to be able to hopefully help to build trust among patients, that they can have conversations with their provider and that we can move forward in a society where everyone's health is kept in mind, but also fears are alleviated.
Yeah, I think that's really the main goal is really to partner up, because doctors and patients are not adversaries, right? We're all on the same team, especially when it comes to our kids. So let's come together, let's work together, and it's okay to ask questions. I think that's a good thing.
If you enjoyed this conversation, then I definitely want you to check out this.